I grew her from scratch. Like literally her bones, her heart, her brain, her whole body. I grew it from scratch with my body. And then I hosted her in my body for 9 months as she grew, 9 painful months. And then I birthed her into this world. And yet she has my husband's last name.
Right, so bad. Just the worst possible thing in the world, right? Because you don't need a man, right? You don't need a man to have a kid. So, why would it be like? Why would you ever have the husband's last name, right? Because the husband is the worst, the most useless person in the room, right? He didn't grow the baby. He didn't provide anything for the baby. And other such bullshit is what womanism teaches, right? Okay, let me shatter this girl's whole argument, okay? The pillows in that room, designed by men. The bed frame, the beautiful bed frame there, designed by men. The painting above this girl, designed by men. The makeup this girl is wearing, designed by men. The safety and security, designed by men. The phone that this girl is filming with, designed by men. And the arrogant, haughty, entitled attitude, also designed by men in order to promote capitalism. But the reason why this girl feels that she's able to say this garbage, the reason she feels she's able to say it, is because she lives in a society that's so safe that she's able to say it. So how dare she say she doesn't need a man or the convention of taking a husband's last name? How dare she say those things? When literally every single thing in her life that has allowed her to safely have this child. Oh, how about the modern medicine that allowed her to safely birth the baby with basically no chance of dying in the process? Also designed by men. So how dare she say that men are useless and that she shouldn't have a man's last name? Utterly ridiculous hogwash. Hello and welcome to the Helios blog. My name is Helios, here for another reaction video. If you're new to the channel, liking the content, please hit the sub, hit all for notifications. If you agree or disagree with my commentary, that's what the comment box is for. If you'd like to support me, I do have a Patreon with exclusive content. It's patreon.com/theheliosblog. Just join one of the tiers there. Any support is appreciated. All right, let's continue with this head scratcher stuff.
So a lady messaged me and called me a bad mom because I probably feed my kids frozen dinosaur chicken nuggets. And I got really offended because I obviously cook them first.
That's not the point. What she's saying is that you can't cook because you're just baking stuff. You're doing what a 6-year-old can do. So the level of effort you're putting in for your children is lower than the average good mom. That's what she's getting at. What did it say? My husband asking for bedroom fun time after I deprived him all week. Yeah, so again, too many men end up in these dead bedroom marriages, and the reason why they end up in these dead bedroom marriages is because the girl was never attracted to the guy in the first place, right? She's just with him for all the benefits, right? She's just with him for the money. She's with him for the, handyman services. She's with him for the butler services. She's with him for the taxi cab services. But she's not with him because he's a man that she truly desires. That privilege was given to Chad when she was 18 to 23. And so these men then end up in situations where they have to beg for bedroom fun, quote unquote, right? But again, if you're in such a position, the reason is because you chose you as a man chose poorly. You had no options, right? Because if you had options, you wouldn't choose a girl that disdained you like that. So, and it's not only on the man, it's also on the woman. If the woman didn't have, 25 bedroom fun partners before the age of 28, then she wouldn't be in such a terrible position having to settle for a guy that she wasn't attracted to. She like in the old system, women used to marry as, you know, before having bedroom fun. They used to get the commitment up front, and they used to have families, and they used to appreciate their husbands, right? But no, nowadays we can't have that, because that's, you know, that's hating women, apparently, to, you know, to promote the things that give them a good life, right? Instead, we should encourage them to destroy themselves and to be unhappy and miserable and to be on, you know, antidepressant medications. Yes, that's way better.
So I went on this date 2 years ago in Boston with this girl, hitting it off, having a great time. So I'm paying for the check, and we're going to the movies after. So all of a sudden, this guy sits down at the table with us, and she's pale as a ghost. So I went to the guy, I'm like, hey man, can I help you? She's like, oh, that's my wife.
What? Well, it's not ridiculous. This is just women's dualistic mating strategy, right? So she has Beta Billy on the side, and then she goes on Tinder to get Chad, right? So she can have one guy for security, and she can have one guy for bedroom fun. It's women's dualistic mating strategy. They would prefer for the guy to have all of the qualities in the same guy, but usually they can't get it. So this is the result.
I said, well, what? Wife? And he goes, yeah. I look at her and I go, is that your husband? So she's like, I don't know, like, just trying to make some excuse. Best part of all, sees something running the corner of my eye. It's her daughter. She jumped on her lap. Mommy. And I was like, I looked at her, I'm like, how long have you guys been married for? 7 years. 7 years. So she lied that she was married. Married for 7 years and had a kid. So I'm just sitting there at the restaurant like, wow, this is like a Dr. Phil episode.
Literally. That's exactly. So this is the extent that women will go to try and secure bedroom fun with Chad, right? And what's the idea? Why would they do this, right? Why would they hurt their marriage, hurt their husband, hurt their children? Why would they do that? Well, they do that because they're trying to maximize their own genes, right? It's just biology. They're trying to, it's the selfish gene hypothesis, right? So the idea is the girl knows that her husband's genes are terrible. She knows, you know, on a subconscious level, she knows that the children are weak. And so she has to maximize her genetic diversity by getting with a guy who's actually, you know, who actually has good genes. And because her genes won't survive being with the, you know, being paired with the husband who's there only for security. That's the idea. As cruel as it sounds, right? And she will literally destroy the husband's life, the kid's life, to maximize her own genes. That's the idea. And why does this exist? Why is this a thing? This is a thing because in the past, women who were able to, you know, do such behaviors, who were able to think such thoughts, who were able to do such actions, they were more likely to pass their genes on. This is called the war brides dynamic. And so that's why. So that's why that story happened, as sad as it sounds.
Can I have Olivia the weekend of October 23rd and 24th? Yeah, that will be okay. What's so important? It's the weekend that Lindsay and I get married. We discussed this before. She's not going to be there to watch you marry some other woman. She's going to be a flower girl with her sister. Half sister. And she's not going. Forget about it.
Yup, welcome to 2022, where whatever the girl wants, that's what the girl gets, right? And so even though she agreed to it, right? Even though she agreed to it, she immediately disagrees when the guy has found a new girl. Because why? Because again, the wife, the ex-wife, what she doesn't want is for the guy to get remarried and to give his resources to another woman, right? Because she's using the ex-husband for resources while she has Chad, right, for her second marriage. So that's why she's so angry, right? Because it hurts the ex-wife for the husband to win by getting a second girl, right?
It's been 3 years. You are only hurting our daughter.
I had a
Indeed.
case a couple of months ago where Dad was paying child support to the tune of $650 for a kid that he actually had custody of. Here's what happened. Mom called Dad up one day and said, hey, our 14-year-old kid is out of control, skipping school, smoking, making bad grades, probably using drugs. Why don't
Right, so the idea is this, and this is what they don't tell you, right? Even though the laws favor women and they always give the children to women, etc., in 2022, not always, but let's say 98% of the time. But the children of single mothers, they have terrible outcomes, right? So the boys, they'll do illicit substances, they'll get bad grades, they're likely to end up in in a metal box somewhere. And the girls are likely to end up on the street, sleeping around at a young age, getting pregnant when they're young, etc. Right? This is why they need a man in the family, right? But they won't tell you that, right? They'll just say women are strong and empowered, they're independent, rah women, everything is great, strong independent single mothers. All the movies will have like successful single moms who are doing everything that the husband and the wife normally do together. She's capable of doing everything on her own. That's the current societal programming, right? Even though it's wrong, false, and because of this, it has destroyed the lives of many, many millions of children. Okay. Anyway, I digress.
you take him, see what you can do with him? Dad gladly took his son, straightened him out. 2 years later, kid's 16 years old, making good grades, stayed in school, everything's going good, except Dad's still paying Mom child support. Well, he came into my office. We immediately filed a petition to modify both child support and custody. I asked him, I said, why'd you wait so long? He said, well, I was afraid Mom would take the kid back if I tried to do anything. I get that answer a lot in these situations. You've got to file that petition immediately. Otherwise, you're going to end up spending tens of thousands of dollars on child support for a kid you've got custody of. Remember, the court does not go back past the date that you file a petition to modify.
So the idea is the following, right? The laws favor women so much. They favor women so much that that husbands are afraid, right, to do anything because they're afraid that they'll get their children taken away. All right, let's go on to the article. 3 types of men women would never date. I mean, this is if you're choosing to date, right? So if you're choosing to date, though in 2022, it wouldn't surprise me at all if you're choosing not to. Like, it's... Anyway, all right. Many men wonder why the hell they're involuntarily celibate. Men have no idea that they fall into one of the 3 categories that women never date. I'll bet hearing some of these is going to ring some alarm bells for men. Okay, let's go. So the first one is losers. Women do not date losers. Men who are uncompetitive are not deserving of reproduction. This is the case in the whole animal kingdom, and humans are no different. In all of human history, only 40% of males have ever reproduced. Now, with online dating and other agents of hypergamy, women are skewing even harder towards the top 20% of men. Men who are unwilling to work hard to be competitive will not reproduce, or at least the chances are very limited. So again, guys, there are many ways to get around this, right? Because so many men are giving up in the modern world, it's the best time, right, to be in the top 20%. Like, you just need to be physically fit and make some good money. Basically, if you're the kind of man in 2022 that chases excellence instead of women, you're going to be a winner, right? So, because so many men are raised like XQC or like Hassan Abi or whatever, they're raised to be like garbage, like losers, who, the mental point of origin is women, and they don't work on themselves at all, and every action and thought is centered around how they can be attractive to women, or how they can not piss off women, and it just leads to their destruction, right? Okay, number 2 is fats. Fat men have no chance of dating attractive women. The dating market is extremely competitive, and men who are unable to have the self-control to at least have a fit body, if not a superior one, are undeserving to win. Fat men need to understand it's a serious issue that must be addressed. If you're fat and poorly groomed, you have little chance of success in the dating market. And number 3 is lazies. Lazy men who are unwilling to fight to be competitive are not date-worthy. These are the men that simply go from home to work and back. These are the men that only play video games. These are the men that can't even exercise 3 times per week because they don't feel like it. Lazy men do not succeed in this world. Women do not and have never wanted to sleep with lazy men. Work hard or be discarded. Ultimately, the world is unforgiving and harsh. If you're not willing to try and strive in order to be successful, you will be discarded. Natural selection deems it so. Work hard or be thrown away. The world doesn't care whether you succeed or fail, but you should. All right. back to the video here.
Put a finger down if you're an anti-feminist and a fundamentalist who believes that traditional American values should be brought back into the household because your husband is the sole provider of your home. That's what I thought. Shouts out to being a real woman.
That's a great TikTok. I agree. Nice.
Just kidding. Kill all men. Hee hee.
Wow. Okay. So funny, haha. Women's attempts at humor. Yeah. Okay. Again, like what is the principle at work there? It's the sisterhood over all, right? So these girls, they would rather be friends with all of the, garden tools. They would rather not be disapproved of by the sisterhood than dare to say that they believe different than what the crowd says.
This is why men cares about your body count. Women, ever since the beginning of time, have always been seen as the prize, as something to be pursued.
Okay, we're going to stop right there. Women are not the prize. Women are a spoil of war. You could argue for that. But to be honest, men are actually the prize. And the reason why men are the prize is because women don't provide security, right? Women, what they provide is access to reproduction, right? Access to reproduction of your genes. But they don't really provide much else. Men provide the safety, stability, security, and they provide the backbone of society. So no, this is hogwash here.
Chased, fought for, and won over. The reason is because men see you as valuable. Women used to appreciate that about man. Y'all used to appreciate the man putting in effort to go after you and prove to you why you should give yourself to him.
Yes, this actually is true. So this, even 30 years ago, was the case, right? So women weren't so masculine, and you actually had to, court a woman in order to have bedroom fun, and very often women wouldn't sleep with you until marriage or, close to marriage. That used to be the case, right? You couldn't just go out and have bedroom fun with a girl unless it was the town bicycle. Which was very rare. But now in 2022, like 99.8% of the girls are town bicycles, right? So they're all sleeping around when they used to not sleep around at all, right? Thanks, woman empowerment. All it does is destroy society, by the way.
During this entire time, though, many men would be trying to get at you, and because you were careful about who you said yes to. You usually said yes to one man, and that one man was your man for life.
That's exactly right. So you guys want to know what the divorce rate of a girl with 0 partners is before marriage? The divorce rate of a girl with 0 partners before marriage is 5%. 1 in 20. Enough said. Do you understand now why religion encourages no hymen, no diamond? Why it encourages, why it encourages men and women to not have bedroom fun before marriage, but especially women? That's the reason. And the reason why people would get married so early also is because men wanted the bedroom fun and women wanted the security, right? And like before, women wouldn't be able to sleep around because there was a lot of risk to having bedroom fun and having children. But nowadays, that's not the case at all, right? It's just a totally different world. And it's a world that is, favoring women totally and minimizing men's power while maximizing the responsibility.
So then it was worth it to put effort into winning you over, because at the end of the day, the man had something to be proud of, something he wouldn't be embarrassed showing to the world as only his.
That's right. So the idea is, again, no man wants a girl that all other men have had. No man wants the town bicycle. And nowadays, with girls all having end counts of like over 10, it's like, is that even a prize? Is that even something to be proud of, right? Like, you have a girl that 10 other guys have had. You're number 11. Like, will you ever be able to please this girl? Will she ever be happy with you? Or will she constantly be complaining, expecting you to be the best qualities of all the previous guys she's had, right?
Went on a date with this man. He was so sweet and paid for everything. But after seeing him eat mushrooms in his pasta, it's a no-go for me. Thanks for being a cool date.
Perfect. Awesome. That's exactly, yeah, best girl in the world. Hooray! Rah, rah, women, so strong and independent. He put mushrooms in his pasta, so I don't like him. So he just wasted $200 on me. Guys, we're not out here wasting $200 on dinner dates for girls who we've never met before. First date is a coffee or a walk. We're vetting for 6 months at least before you're giving girls any kind of boyfriend behavior. So that means trips, that means meeting your friends, that means dinner dates, that means movie dates. We're not wasting our money on girls that are not worth the effort. We are not out here doing that, because that is a ridiculous waste of your time and your money and your effort. We're not out here giving our boyfriend behaviors for free, guys. And this is for you that are choosing to date. If you're choosing not to date, I'm not surprised. In 2022, I'm not surprised at all. All right. Let's look at this fake Tinder profile here. Again, these are not real. You can just Google these like I did. The reason why I'm showing you these is because there's a lot to learn even from these. I don't actually think this one is a Tinder one though. But anyway, whatever. So this is Cody who's 24. Just to clarify, I'm single and I don't need to chew when eating a banana. Wow, so cool, so strong and empowered. So wonderful. You go, queen. But anyway, look at the red flags. So you see she's past the age of 23. She has a ton of tattoos. She doesn't appear to even have cleaned her room. Look in the background there. So again, guys, this means she's probably lazy. And I mean, there you go, right? Like, what more needs to be said? This is not a girl for a wife, right? This is a girl for recreational use only. All right, back to the video.
Clear.
Okay.
So I met her with this lady at a restaurant called Mariachi's. Nice little Mexican food restaurant that was close to both our houses. So when she shows up, the first thing I thought was, I got catfish. Because she looks nothing like the pictures that's on her profile. The second thing I thought was, she must be pregnant because she had a pot belly and it didn't go with her figure. So we sit down at the table and she keep complimenting my looks. But I can't compliment her back because she wasn't attractive at all. And she was also two different colors. Her arms, her chest, and her neck was dark skinned, but her face was light skinned. She had so much goddamn makeup on, I didn't know who I was on a date with. And I can tell she didn't have no hair because she had a part in her wig that was like this goddamn far apart. Now it's too early for Halloween, but she came dressed in a costume any fucking way. But I digress. Let me continue with the story.
So again, guys, like these are the, like, okay. Look at the guy making the video. He's tall, he's, you know, physically fit, he's attractive, he seems confident, etc. And this is the guy that's getting dates with, like, you know, girls that are pregnant, that have tattoos, that have terrible parts in their hair, that are wearing tons of makeup, that are, you see what I'm saying, guys? Like, every girl wants a superior man. And so what ends up happening is all the girls are just passing Chad around, right? And so once these girls have had 2 or 3 Chads, what ends up happening is they believe that no man is good enough anymore, and the standards go higher and higher while their value goes lower, right? So it's like, again, like we saw in like a few TikToks ago, like before, men could be proud to say that they were with a girl, but like, what are you going to do? Like, marry a girl who got pregnant by another guy? Like, obviously not. So like, what is this even?
So we order our food, right? I'll order myself a vegan fajita. But the first thing she orders is this big ass margarita. And then she tried to order me one. And I said, nah, I'm good. I don't drink outside of my house. But the real reason I didn't want to drink, because I didn't want anything changing my inhibitions. Because I didn't want to wake up with that in the morning. Hell no. So I really want this to be over with, because I am not enjoying myself. And she's one of those that want to talk and tell me all her motherfucking problems about all the shit going on with her other baby daddies and shit. Our food finally come, and I'm trying my best to eat fast, right? So I can pay this bill, get in my car, and go to home. I take a good 3 bites, and this girl take the fork that she was just eating with and put it in my plate to taste some of my food.
Okay, I consider that to be very disrespectful. Again, she doesn't know you, she doesn't know your preferences, and she's already testing your boundaries. It's too early, right? This is her at her best behavior, and she's already testing boundaries. It's a very bad sign. It's a red flag. Yeah, I mean, she's already had like 500 red flags, so why not 501, right?
When I tell you that I got so goddamn upset, I pushed the plate away and I look back, I say, why the hell would you do that? And I didn't say it nice. I asked her, why the hell would you do that? Why would you put your nasty fork in my plate? So I'm livid. I'm mad. Because if you know me, I don't do like that. I don't share food. You ain't finna put your nasty fork in my plate. Don't ask me for the If you wanted it, you should have ordered the I'm pissed, right? So I call the waiter over and I say, hey, this is gonna be 2 separate checks. I'm gonna go ahead and pay for mine so I can get the hell out of here, right? So she was like, wait, you that mad? Oh, hell, yeah. Who the does that? This is the first time I'm meeting you. You know what I'm saying? And you wanna put your nasty ass fork in my food? Shit. When I tell you that she almost got cursed the out, I just left. I left angry. I just left.
I agree. Yep. There you go. Okay. On to the article. Dear men who wish to be allies to women, 12 things you need to know. So again, if you're wondering, guys, what an ally is, it means a useful idiot. So it means a guy who he lives his life according to what women want and what women need, and he subsumes his mental point of origin to women. So he's a guy like XQC, he's a guy like Hassan Abbey, guys that are just clueless about how the world really works and are just useful idiots for women. So, all right. It's not women's responsibility to educate you. That's number 1. So teach yourself about being against women and misogyny and how to recreate our culture to eliminate them. Right, so just be a useful idiot. Number 2, don't ask women to do additional emotional labor. Women have been socialized to be caretakers and nurturers. Some of us embrace this role and others don't. What does emotional labor look like? Listening to others talk about their problems, processing issues and providing advice, caring about others' feelings, etc. Right, so don't make us do what women are traditionally supposed to do. Just, you take all the responsibility and we'll take none of it, but we want all the authority, okay? That's what she's saying. Okay, next. Think about the space you take up. In conversations in boardrooms at public events, walking down the street, think about your proximity to women. And this is especially true if you encounter a woman alone. Give her some space. So again, this is like power dynamic stuff. It's like, don't take up so much space, give up your power. That's the implication there. Okay, and do your homework and seek out women's perspectives. Read articles and books about intersectional womanism. Read articles and books that have nothing to do with womanism but are written by women. Look at your bookshelf. Is it full of mostly male authors? Think of why that may be. Right, so again, the only correct and good perspective is a woman's perspective. Take the woman's perspective. That's the moral of this article, right? Women good, men bad. Take women's perspective. Alright guys, we're going to end the video there. Again, if you're new to the channel, liking the content, hit the sub, hit all for notifications. If you agree or disagree with my commentary, that's what the comment section is for. If you'd like to support me, I do have a Patreon with exclusive content. It's patreon.com/theheliosblog. Just choose any tier. Any level of support is appreciated. Thank you so much for taking the time out of your busy day to listen to my video, especially if you got to the end. I really do appreciate it. Thank you so much for watching. You guys are awesome, and I'll see you next time. Thank you so much for watching my channel. Please remember to do all of the following. Like the video for the algorithm. Comment on the video. I respond to all comments and I'll give you a heart. Subscribe and hit the bell so you can see my content on your feed. Check out all of my content on other platforms. It spreads the reach of the channel. YouTube, bit.ly/heliosyoutube. Rumble, bit.ly/heliosrumble. My blog is realheliosblog.com. My podcast, bit.ly/heliospodcast. My Patreon, patreon.com/theheliosblog. You can also support the show at bit.ly/heliosdonations and buy my books at bit.ly/heliosbooks. Thank you so much for all of your support.